Good morning. This is Ricky Analog here, and welcome to STN Stock Talk with Ricky and Goose. As always, the formalities first. You know that this is just for informational purposes only. Nothing we are saying today is actual investment advice. Please do your own due diligence. Make sure you read the disclaimer. If you haven't by now, check out stocktraders.net. We are a leading online trading community. We have free rooms. We have a premium room where we do a screen share every morning through the opening. We have all kinds of really neat widgets, such as a Turbo Scan, which is a proprietary scanner that was developed by Titus over the course of a decade or so. You won't find a scanner like this anywhere. We're over there on the daily, catching moves way before they happen. Do yourself a service, guys, and get over there and check us out. We know your time is valuable, so we keep these things as short as possible. We're only trying to give you a few ideas and keep it to what's popping. So Goose is gone today. I'm going to handle this one on my own. Let's just get right into it. Now, before we get the charts up, I do want to say one thing. My first little golden nugget piece of advice I want to give everyone is just stay the F away from IMTE. There's absolutely zero reason to trade this thing. It's like 1.5 million of the 2.6 million OS are held by the CEO. The float should probably be around 800,000 shares. It went over 1,000% double unicorn status yesterday on just over 2 million shares. That's absolutely crazy. You really never know when something's actually extended too much. There's no such thing as up too much. I'm sure plenty of people thought it was up too much at 10, and then they thought that even more at 20, and then even more at 30. So you get the point. Don't blow up your account because you couldn't resist trying to play superhero on a stock that is not playing by the rules of physics, guys. All right, we're going to get right into things, guys. The first thing on the list today is SEII. Now, if you are familiar with this one, it's because it's the old CLNT, Turd Central. 3.9 million float. These clowns generated $13.5 million in revenues for all of 2017, and it cost them $13.7 million to do it. That's so laughable. It doesn't even include the operating expenses. They are a complete circus, and they deserve to be shorted all the way down to the OTC. However, you can see from the daily chart that they have crazy range. And yesterday's move was on just over 1 million shares traded. I would prefer to see a lot more volume than that before I decide to get involved. Not to mention, I will depend on the ability to find locates, which have been next to impossible to come by for many of these runners lately, guys. But it is on the short list. I would never recommend longing it, but you definitely need to know how to spot the turn. You can't just be shorting on the front side of these things. You will get wrecked. The next thing I'm looking at, guys, is NVIV. We're going to get all the turds out the way real quick. So NVIV, another turd, Ricky Tip. Listen, they did a recent reverse split. I believe it was, we can just see real fast. I think it was 1 for 25. Yes, it was. The OS is like 1.5 million. The float's probably closer to $1 million. They have a pending S1 to raise at the moment. We'll see if they amend it or not, but $8 million. And they traded over 7 times the ATR yesterday at its highs. I would like to see it get even crazier and extend to 20 or higher. I am short bias on this one, but I would like to see a bit more volume. We had float rotation yesterday. I'm assuming there's going to be some follow through since there haven't been too many things all in play at the same time. But I honestly think that this thing has the chance to be a multi-day runner. So I'm not going to get jumping right into it unless it forces me. Like, you guys, that's what you should be looking for on these shorts. You should, the price should be so ridiculous and be pulling you in that you can't really resist. And then you also still need to know how to get in safely with defined risk. That's the only way to play these things. If you can't do that, then stay away. And that's a perfect segue into the next one, because if you can't play those low float runners, then play something safer like APRN. Now, these guys were an earnings beat. I don't want to get into that really. The fundamentals of this company are so debatable, but I would like to see it get legs to 3, maybe higher, and theoretically it should be able to with half the float short. but I'm not wowed by the numbers, and I still think this company was a stupid IPO. I'm not sure on how they plan to take this thing to levels of profitability. I am short bias on it. I'll show you what I'm looking at really on the, it's not even the daily. We do have the 200 up there at 4, but on the weekly chart, we got the 20 right here at just under 3. So that's where I would like to see pushes to. You can also see where 3 acted as support before, hoping to see that turn into resistance. That's the play for me on APRN if it gets there. If not, won't even touch it. The next thing on the list, guys, Tesla. They had earnings. You know what? I missed the conference call by Elon, and I heard it was a doozy. It's on the list of things I'm going to go back and do later. I can't wait to go hear what he went off the tracks with. The way I'm going to play it, though, is I'm looking for a push back as close to 290 as possible, and then I want to see it. I want to see the sellers come back in on it. I don't think we're going to get back to 300 today. If we did, I think that would be a beautiful gap to close. If you guys don't know about the gap to close, that's one of the strategies over there in stocktraders.net. There's videos on it, and all the moderators be happy to discuss it with you. I don't think we're going to get a gap to close on Tesla, but 290 is where I'd be looking for it to short. Let's see. The next thing on the list, guys, is Logitech, LOGI. And let's see. Let's get back off the weekly chart, back to the daily. And you can see where we're gapping. We're gapping right into these levels of 40. It's a psych round number. I'm actually looking a little bit short on it. Going to see if 40 acts as a roof. The other day, we kind of were looking at, what was it? Nano was the same type play, but Nano didn't set up. It broke over 30, and then it just ripped. We never touched it. So just because we say something, we're looking for something in these pre-market stock talks, doesn't mean they always set up the way we're looking for it. And if they don't, we don't touch them. So make sure, if you're not sure how we're playing it, come over to stocktraders.net and see for yourself. But if this does set up, 40 is the level I'm looking at to stuff, and we're up there right now, kind of developing a bit of a consolidation. All pre-market has not been a ton of volume, so I'm not sure how well I'll rely on that level until open. Last thing I'm looking at, guys, last thing on the list is data, DATA, and this is almost the same setup as Shutterfly was yesterday. We got a nice little base that's been built since the last earnings. You got the psych number 90 that we're breaking over, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Shutterfly was $90 as well, right where we looked to take it yesterday, and made a pretty penny on Shutterfly, and I'm hoping data does the same thing. Gonna look for some strength off the open. The 5-minute 20 is the key. We've got highs so far of 92.50. If we can get a little bit of a retrace before the open and open up right around that 5-minute 20, I'll be looking for an opening setup to take this thing long with the pre-market highs as the first target. That's everything I'm watching today so far. There are other things that may pop up on the news. Remember, guys, we have discounts for our members on Trade the News, which is an amazing source or resource to be using throughout the day, especially if nothing quite fits your criteria yet. Maybe something's going to pop midday. We also play turbo scan, so if none of the stuff that we went over this morning fits your criteria, you can always come over there and try out turbo scan. Please check us out. Please share, spread the word, tell everyone on Twitter, share this link. We're trying to provide a lot of value for you guys, and we hope we're doing a good job. That being said, guys, that's it. I'm signing off. If you don't have a plan, you don't have a trade, stay safe, protect your capital. Let's go out there and crush it. Peace.